Our position within society is a representation of the history within literature and the emotions texts ignite, allowing us to reflect on our experiences in the world. One's exposure to contradiction directly increases one's emotional capacity. Contradiction is the extent of difference between a binary that a human can experience and is perceived uniquely through the collective behaviors. George Orwell's novel, 1984, brings to light the binary shed within our world and that of an ideological dystopian society. The purpose of 1984 is to indicate that the emotions experienced by an individual are predetermined by their environment, constructed on behavior of more powerful social classes. 1984 was illustrated in a time of mass world war and struggle that changed collective perception of emotional capacity. Proletarians face the greatest challenge and the most vast contradictions but survive happily. Party members experience less dangerous challenges, which results in a less turbulent life. Literature allows us to have secondary experiences, giving us perspective and balance. By engaging critically with 1984 and its reflection of our world, its audience is entitled to reflect on their own shared and individual human experience. Binaries thrive when contradiction is most prevalent, allowing for increased experience of balance, leading to a collective equilibrium. Proletarians face the greatest challenges and most vast contradictions but survive happily. Proletarians are the lower social class who make up the majority of the population but are regarded as useless and perceived as unintelligent. They live terribly and are exposed to the trenches of hell but are incapable of comprehending anything worse, which justifies their collective experience. The proles are perceived as emotional humans through the eyes of Winston. By lack of understanding, they remain sane. The proles, who are commonly dehumanized and perceived as animalistic, are unable to develop negative feelings as their collective inhabits all that is bad. Our ability to experience is limited by the difficulties that we are able to overcome, but the difficulties we face arise from an environment that is uncontrollable. The use of a simile in the quote, just as a grain of corn will pass undigested through the body of a bird, exemplifies the proletarian inability to fixate on negative information. Trolls aren't limited intellectually and so have the privilege to truly explore their own emotion within their physical world. Similarly, we are invited to question our place within the world. Are we as truly free as the oppressed proles, and are free to explore feelings that emotions ignite? Furthermore, an excerpt for the poem We Real Cool aligns with the concepts present within 1984 and emphasizes the emotions that proletarians are free to explore. We lurk late, we strike straight. Those who don't experience privilege face challenges that bring our personal identity to overcome. Lower class people must navigate their hazardous environments in ways unique to them, creating freedom to feel and expand their emotion. Evidently, a human's capacity of emotion increases as physical conditions decrease, and intellectual capability thrives as contradiction becomes more prevalent. Turbulence in experience is indicative of imbalance in the challenges one endures due to the lesser burden and subsequent personal growth. Party members experience less dangerous challenges, which decreases their emotional capacity. Their privileged position as ministry workers allows them to consider their place within the world in evasion from the thought police. The shallow collective intellect of the party is displayed through the quote, nothing exists except an endless present in which the party is always right. The party is made to believe that they are correct in their practices of life through the laws and structure they abide by. The past dies as it is no longer the present, and so too do the thoughts that hold no significance to the current moment. Additionally, the party's emotional limitations are emphasized through their inability to comprehend the contradictions imposed upon them with repeated exclusive pronouns. They could be made to accept the most flagrant violations of reality, because they never fully grasped the enormity of what was demanded of them. Party members face only cognitive challenges which are constructed by a system that prevents them from danger, which therefore diminishes their emotional capacity. We are made compliant through systematically controlled dissolution of critical thought and emotional resilience. Furthermore, the quote from We Real Cool uses enjambment in the lines We Thin Jin, We Jazz June to highlight how a collective is aligned to adopt similar behaviors to act in an ideological regime. Safety under authority suppresses emotion, while danger in individuality allows for freedom of feeling. Systematic influence removes the burden of challenge, resulting in a collective with a suppressed emotional capacity and turbulent reflection of the past as it becomes irrelevant. These texts are effective in provoking individual thoughts of the responder, allowing them to comprehend the development of their emotions through collective influence. Collective exposure to literature that embodies contradiction within our world increases shared emotional capacity. Literature allows us to have secondary experiences, giving us perspective and balance. We gather secondary experiences through literature that is constructed through the perspectives of others. The emotions we experience are predetermined for us to experience when observing our world and perceiving it in comparison to alternate realities, such as 1984. The quote, "Reality exists in the human mind and nowhere else, not in the individual mind, only in the mind of the party, which is a collective and immortal," embodies the idea that our knowledge is acquired through a superior influence that is out of our control. We are only able to formulate emotion based on what we are destined to feel from sources of power we are designed to not understand. To continue, our destined unconscious desire for our emotional capacity is displayed in the paradoxical quote, "Who controls the past controls the future. Who controls the present controls the past." The way we reflect on the past determines the difficulties we are entitled to, but paradoxically, the past relies on the events of the future. Finally, the quote, "We die soon," from We Real Cool, employs an idea that in order for emotions to be recognized, the past needs to be seen in evaluation for the present. The line forces readers to confront the consequences of their future based on experience. Literature becomes a tool for expanded self-evaluation to build consolidated emotional balance. The emotional capacity that humans develop is collective and the result of an inconsistent world, creating literature that employs us to reflect on an alternate reality. Our place within this world is a representation of the alternate realities embedded within literature that we adopt in reflection of our own. We are the emotions deliberately manufactured to guide our experience in a way tailored to the vision of the power in the world. The world that we are contributors to is built to hide contradiction with an aim to limit our emotional capacity. Greater discrepancy in one's own experience in life allows for more difficult challenges that construct an expansive intellect dangerous to authoritative power. Our collective experience of the world is inconsistent compared to the real world because of the alternate realities within literature that are introduced into our real world. Due to our changing reality, human experience is based on limited contradiction, and this results in narrowed emotional capacity. To predict the future, we need to learn from the past, but paradoxically, the past relies on the future.